I am Nick Shell. I am the self-help hacker. I'm here to slip you the answers to the test. You're going to experience so many tests in life. For me, no one handed me the answers. I didn't have the answers. I was fumbling, trying to figure out, what? Meanwhile, here's your version. You're still going to have the test, but here's what's going to happen when you have the test. Amen. There you go. And I just hand it to you. And now when the test comes, you know what to do. You know how to react to, oh, this lesson right here, it's actually written on here. It says, no difference between real and fake confidence. Well, I guess we better talk about that because that's one of my many valuable life lessons. Accept it, believe it in your heart, and live it. There is no difference between real and fake confidence. I promise you, if anybody can say that, it's me. I've built so much of my life on that concept of fake it till you make it. Granted, I'm in sales, so by default, we have to seem confident in what we're talking about. Even if we don't totally understand all the answers to it, we often assume that the potential customer understands more about it than we do. And ultimately, maybe we're just kind of presenting the thing. Here's the thing that you like. See, it has the buttons that you wanted. There you go. So no one can tell the difference between real and fake confidence. I need you to accept that, like fathom that. Like, no, yeah, people can tell if you're faking. Now, to the outsider, it's impossible to know if that guy's actually confident or not. And what I've learned is you can use that to your advantage, because here's the thing. People love to be surrounded by people who are confident. Now, granted, there's people who are arrogant. And to me, I would define that as, here's a person who believes in themselves, but will just mow over everybody else. They would talk about themselves and not try to help other people. But someone who's truly confident are so confident in themselves that they're not seeking validation from other people for their own identity. In fact, they're building other people up. So when I say confidence, that's real confidence or fake confidence. It's this concept. Are you helping other people? Are you building them up? Do you seem knowledgeable in what you're doing? I think people are actually more forgiving than you realize. People expect you to make mistakes. People actually respect you more when they see that you made a mistake and you immediately admit it. Oh man, I did that wrong. Here's what I should have done. Sorry about that. And in real time, you show that you learned and you're going to change and do things differently. When you immediately admit the problem instead of passing the blame to somebody else or the circumstance or whatever it is, people respect that because they see that it's real, that you're confident enough to fail. And that's a byproduct of someone like me who's lived beyond the age of 35. And because I'm telling you, when you, that's not even that old, but when you live to be 35 and beyond, you get rejected by so many people, by so many situations. You failed and you tried with your whole heart. And you learn how to become better because of it. You rebuild your way of thinking through that. And so I think in the process, it does lead to more confidence. But then the next time you maybe only halfway know what you're doing, well, you're so used to being confident, and like basically the mindset is, well, even if I don't know what I'm doing, surely I can figure it out and come pretty close. And as I'm looking around, there's no one else actually trying to do this thing. So if I'm the person doing it, I can kind of figure it out. And then once I do figure it out, again, no one else seems to know what they're doing. Then they come to me and I become the info source. And when you become the info source for the thing that maybe you figured out while faking it till you're making it, then what happens is now you actually become the authority on this subject by default. And people are now coming to you for answers. And now you are helping them, which makes them feel good. And it makes you feel good to help the other person. It's funny what can happen when we fathom fake confidence. Now, granted, I'm borrowing this concept. I've lived it and I've known it for so long, but it was when I was watching Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, the episode with Steve Martin, where Steve Martin was talking about when he was 26, starting his live stand-up routine. and he played a character, and this character was just all over the place, and like just putting on like a party for his actors. And Steve said, that wasn't me at all. I was actually kind of a quiet guy, but I knew that the audience needed that person, and they bought it. And I became a very popular comedian because of that act, which led to his acting and all that. Steve Martin's career was based on fake confidence, but no one knew the difference. Now, I could give you many examples in my life. That's exactly my career, how I met my wife and got her to go for me. You know, so many things in life are just based on me seeming confident in myself. And I'll be honest, I don't think anymore I personally know the difference between real and fake confidence. And it's almost like for an actor, and they play so many different parts, and they become attached to those parts that they play, which I do have a background in acting growing up, not in a big stage, but I did that my whole life growing up. And once you play enough roles, it's almost like you keep part of that role as a souvenir for yourself. So you know how to be that person to the person who needs to see that version of you. Because let's face it, we're not the same. We don't act the same with everybody in our life. The way I talk to my wife and interact with her is different than me talking to the guys at work or whatever. Like, we have different versions of ourselves. So ultimately, like an actor who can't tell himself from the parts he's playing, that's kind of how it happens for me with confidence. Am I actually confident? Or am I just faking it? What about even in these videos? I mean, for years, I covered different topics. And now I'm launching this new series. Will people like it? Will people watch it? Well, ultimately, I've got to seem like I know what I'm talking about. And granted, I do, because these are all my life lessons. These are things I definitely learned. But see, what I'm doing is I'm becoming the info source, which gives me a sense of authority when no one else is willing to talk about this stuff and say, hey, let me give you some cheat codes for life. No edit, no music, just a guy talking. Where's he at, in his garage? Why is there that echo? But no one else is doing it. Now, granted, I may not become the main person for that, but I'm willing to have that conversation. Am I confident in myself? Do I believe that this video series is going to take off? Honestly, it might not. But I've failed enough to know that it's okay. Because even from my failures, I have learned how to become better. Now, granted, I'm going to make dozens of these videos because I'm only getting started with these sticky notes. I just keep them coming. And so I'm just going to keep making these until, I guess I'm starting to slow down on ideas, and then I'll look back in the videos and see, hey, are people into this? Granted, it's me, it's real. But even now, do you think I'm confident in what I'm doing? Am I confident in what I'm doing? Honestly, I have lights right here that I set up in my garage with a camera, sticky notes. I look at the sticky note and like, oh yeah, I remember that life lesson. Let me talk about that for 10 minutes. Is that confidence? I don't know. It doesn't matter, because there's no difference between real and fake confidence. If people think that you're confident, you're confident. Confidence is almost imaginary. It's almost an illusion. And what's funny is we gravitate, as human beings, we gravitate towards people who are confident. People who are unsure and don't believe in themselves, we may have pity on them, and we might try to help them the best we can, but some people won't even allow themselves to be helped. But when we see someone who's confident, it appears that they have passion. People follow passion. I'm quoting Bono from U2. I heard him say that a long time ago in a magazine. People follow passion. People follow confidence. I've talked before about how it's always a decision to be offended. You get to determine if you assign emotional control to that person and allowing them to offend you or hurt you. Imagine the person that's just constantly offended all the time by so many things. They're easily triggered emotionally. Now, people, again, will have pity on that person and try to help them, but they see that person as weak. They don't see that person as strong. People perceive another person as a strong person when they're in control of their own emotions and they seem like they know what they're doing. What if they found out the whole time that the person didn't know what they were doing? Again, welcome to the story of my life. My life is based off of that. I'm so bad at math and science. I became an English degree, an English major in college, just by default. I struggled so much in math. And all I had to do was just do the basic math courses to get my English degree. And I struggled. I had mentors helping me just survive to get through it. And then I realized by the end of it, oh, I've gained a degree in English just because I'm so bad at the other stuff. It helped me realize what I was good at. So that's one of the many examples of faking it till you make it. I was sitting in there with classes with people a lot smarter than me, in English majors, reading these thick books. And I was just kind of like, okay, here's the concept of Moby Dick. Okay, I kind of read this part. Okay, I can tie together a good report and present that in front of the class. And some people like my report better than people who are like totally nerds about the book. Fake confidence. I could give you so many examples, but we need to accept this before we can move on to the next video. Other people cannot tell real confidence from fake confidence. Your comments belong here, and keep in mind my house rules. If you leave a negative, destructive comment, you're allowed to do that, but you won't get a personal response from me. I won't type back. I won't make a video based off of that, because you are broadcasting your own insecurities when you do that. Your own feelings of incompetence. You're broadcasting that. And I don't want to bring attention to that. You're sorting that out on your own. And hopefully my videos can help you really figure out your own identity. Because broken people hurt people. Broken people try to break other people. So this is the opposite of that. That's why I have that policy. Go for it. Your comments belong right here.